What is up, guys? Welcome to today's video. We're going to be starting a new little saga called Apple Addiction. Now this is not going to do with the fruits apple, it's got to do with Apple, the product. So let's get into it, guys. Not going to be sponsored by Apple, not related to Apple as in marketing or anything. It's my opinion on Apple and how I prefer Apple over other things. I'll give my reasons, I'll talk about it. You can have your reasons why you probably don't prefer them, and I'll have mine why I do prefer them, because everyone has their own perspective, opinion, and reason why they use different products. Jumping straight into it, guys, the very first Apple product I ever had is the reason why I really got into Apple. That's gonna be the iPod Shuffle. This is just gonna be, I think it's the second generation one. I'm pretty sure the first generation one was the wider one, but this is going to be the, I think it's the second one. I've had this for most of my life. The buttons here, the slider one click over is going to be on, another click over is going to be shuffle. I never knew what that button was for, but that's for the headphone jack. Coming to the front, there's going to be the play button right in the middle, volume up, volume down, skip forward and skip back. On the bottom, nothing, sides, nothing either. On the back, there's going to be the amazing Apple logo, which is upside down, and there's also going to be a clip, so you can clip it to your shirt if you want to. You can clip it onto your pants, you can just chuck in your pocket. But that is something I really did like about this product, is that it was so small, it played music, it went to your headphones, and you could literally just lay there, click play, sit back, listen to your favorite songs, hit shuffle straight through. And it was one of their first products that stood right out to me. I had a blue iPod Touch 2nd gen, which I'm gonna check a photo up here. So this is gonna be not the exact one I have, but this is a photo of the blue iPod Touch. I think it was the 2nd generation that I had, or it was the 4th generation. It's been a long time since I've talked about these products. This is a product I loved because it was so small, slim, compact, had a really nice blue and white. It was a product I adored. I used it every single day. I dented the hell out of it. I scratched it. I treated it so poorly, but it treated me so well. It had great games on it. It was honestly the highlight of my childhood. And that's another reason why I love Apple, is that they made products I can look back on and feel proud to own. And that's something that I really do look for in a product, is something that I can use 15, 20 years down the line and still enjoy. I've had this iPod Shuffle for 10 years. I had the iPod Touch for, it probably would have been about 6 or 7 years, because I got it a few years after this. Yeah, and it was a great product. Honestly, it was amazing. I never broke the screen, I never broke the back, nothing. Jumping into what I had next, I had the iPhone 5S, which I'm going to put another photo here because I have passed it on to someone else, and I know it still runs to this day, because that phone, if anyone's ever had an iPhone 5S, you will understand that those were indestructible. There was nothing better than one of those. If you have one of those, you were a cool kid. They were amazing. So yeah, I had a 5S because the fact that it was, again, it was slimmer, smaller. It was relatively cheap when I got it back in, it was probably about 2016 or 2017 when I got it. I had it for 3 years. I didn't break the screen. I scratched it so much. I dented all around it. It was a great phone. I had an amazing case on it. The next Apple product I got is going to be the iPad Air 2, which this is the Air 2. If you know anything about the iPad Air 2s, they were super slim. I really like mine, but it is on its way out. It's got a lot of cracks in the screen. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that, but like along there's a huge crack. It's very dented because I did take this to school every single day. It had a really nice screen on it. It was obviously not the biggest screen that they had, and it's definitely not going to be the biggest screen they have anymore with the iPad Pro that they have out now with the M1 chip, which I really want to get my hands on because that is looking like a great iPad. But I still have this. I don't have it charged. I rarely use it anymore because the charge doesn't last very long. But I've had this for about 6-7 years now, and I used it every single day. I abused it. I threw it in my backpack to school. I threw my backpack around. So this, I'm surprised the screen isn't completely broken and still works to this day, which is something I do love about Apple, is that their products take abuse and they work for as long as you need them to and as long as you want them to. So yeah, that is going to be the iPad Air 2, and if you do know the iPad Air 2 and you've owned one, you know what I'm talking about where I say it was a really good iPad. Now moving into the next thing that I got, and that is going to be the Apple Watch Series 3. Now this Apple Watch Series 3 was the 3rd generation Apple Watch that they brought out, and it's going to be the non-cellular one. I got these the day that they dropped, because it was for my birthday, and they dropped, it was just before Christmas. It was the very beginning of November, I think, or end of November, I think they dropped. 2017, I think they came out, so it's been about 4 years, and if you look, I have completely scratched up the screen. I've completely abused it. I took a huge chunk out of it. It's really been abused by me. But great watch, and it still works. Touchscreen still works, battery's still really great. I've had no issues with the water tightness or anything. It is an amazing watch. Apple, good stuff with the Apple Watches. You guys are doing great. I really want to try and get a Series 4 or 5 just to kind of update, because this is like a really chunky watch compared to the other stuff, like other watches that I have. This is the same thickness as a dive watch. So I'm glad that they did thin out the new watches and add a lot more power and a lot more battery life and everything to them. So great stuff with the Apple Watches, guys. I really enjoy them. They're one of my favorites. Jumping into the next phone that I got after the iPhone 5S is going to be the 8 Plus. Honestly, this was one of those phones you get and you think this is the top of the range. Apple can't do any better than this, which I'll get to explaining how they have. And I haven't taken this phone out of its case. It's probably been about 1.5 years now. Because I have broken the back near the camera. I dropped it and it completely smashed. And I'm glad that they got rid of the glass back screens. That was a huge complaint that I had. No glass on the back. Alright, glass on the front, I understand, because obviously you need to have a touchscreen, but glass on the back is a big no-no. I hated that. Like, it looks good, but I've put a huge crack through it, broken the edge. I do not like the screen size, obviously. I really think that they should have gone bigger with the screen size, but obviously they didn't have the full screen touchscreen. They still had the home button that nobody liked, because it wasn't actually a home button that clicks. It was pretty much just a sensor, so when you know that you put pressure on it, it responds to that and then sends a vibration through. So that was something I did really enjoy in the 5S. They had that clicky button. I love that button. Honestly, probably the highlight of the 5S is that actual real clicky button, because this is, it's not a real button. Broke my heart, but still a great phone. Obviously there are a lot of issues I had with this phone. I didn't like the button, I didn't like the glass back, I didn't like the size of it, like the screen. I felt like it was too small, but that's why I got a new phone, which is much more updated, and it is bigger, faster, better camera, better battery life, and fits my life a little bit better than this phone. And of course, that is going to be the iPhone 12 Pro Max. This phone does film in 4K, 60 frames per second. I know what Samsung users are gonna say. Please do not put this in the comments, it'll annoy me. I know your Samsung can do 8K. Good for you, the human eye cannot see past 4K, so it's a kind of a waste of money. Sorry Samsung, all because you put an 8 in front of the K does not make it better, just means you're wasting your time. So I love the 4K 60 frames per second. It is smooth and crystal clear as I've ever seen anything. And I know your phone can go up to the 8K, which is gonna look the exact same as the 4K because the human eye can't see the difference because it's still crystal clear. You can't get more crystal clear than crystal clear. Another thing is, I love the Face ID. Honestly, it makes my life so much easier. I hate using the thumbprint like on the 8. That was ridiculous because if you had a bit of sweat on your hand, if you had a bit of dust on your hand, or there was already a fingerprint on top of that, it would read it as 2 fingerprints. It was just annoying. At least with the iPhone 12 Pro Max Face ID, it is a lot more easier to use. You pretty much hold it up to your face and it unlocks. So much better, makes my life easier. I know other companies have it. I do like Apple's Face ID because if I have it sitting on a table and if I swipe up to open, it'll still be able to scan my face from the 90-degree angle, which is something I personally enjoy. I'm not sure if other companies have that, but I'm glad Apple did decide to put that in because it just makes my life easier instead of having to pick it up and scan my face. Another thing I really like about the 12, apart from the camera, apart from the Face ID, apart from the screen that they have, apart from everything, is the fact of the size. I really like the size. They made a perfect size. I love how thick it is without the case. It's like a perfect thickness. This is going to be the silver one with the white back because I don't know, I just found the white to be really aesthetically pleasing. I do really like the thickness of this phone. I'm glad they did not make Apple's biggest phone and then do the we're also gonna make it Apple's thinnest phone like they did with some of the other phones, which I was really spewing over. Like Apple, I try to defend you as much as I can, but like, come on guys, stop trying to make the thinnest phone. Let's stop that, all right? Let's stop making the biggest and thinnest, all right? Let's make rather biggest or thinnest. Let's keep those categories a little separated. So I do really love the size of this phone being Apple's biggest phone so far. And I love the fact that they didn't go for Apple's thinnest phone at the same time. So something I do really enjoy. Thank you, Apple, for keeping those categories separated. So yeah, that is the iPhone 12 Pro Max. If you want a dedicated video on this, I know it's outdated. It'll just be an opinionated review from my opinion of the Apple product, non-biased, of course, because as much as I love Apple, there's still things I hate about Apple and things I dislike, but I still love Apple. I needed these ones in particular because my ears are very waxy. That's getting very personal. So these are going to be the AirPod Pros. I need headphones that come in a small rechargeable case and are really easy to use, really easy to charge. Now, people are gonna say, why didn't you go with Samsung headphones? Why didn't you go with Bose or something like that? I do have Bose headphones. These are going to be the Bose headphones that I have. Great headphones, probably my favorite headphones. I use them when editing on my computer. When I'm playing games, I just chuck them on because they're Bluetooth, so easy to use, got a great microphone, great audio. These AirPod Pros are going to be in my EDC Orbit Key. Orbit Key review is going to be up here if you guys want to check it out. So in here, this is just going to be my EDC pack. I have changed it around a lot, but for now I'm running this setup. The AirPod Pros are going to be my favorite headphones. They've got noise cancelling, they're small, they have the little rubber end on them to make sure to keep the wax out of your ears. Yeah, and they're completely changeable. If you pull on them, they pretty much just come straight off. Simple, you just push and they pop straight back in. Yeah, so you pretty much push, they're straight back on. These are probably my favorite headphones at the moment. I love how clean the case is. I love that it doesn't have a huge Apple symbol on it. They have become so popular that you just know what they are. You literally walk up and go, they're AirPod Pros. You can just tell. It's got the wider case. It's got the little rubber ends on there. And the last thing I have is 2014 MacBook Pro. It's a very old Mac. We have treated it recklessly amongst the family because because this is just going to be the family laptop, but it is primarily in my room because I make videos and photography with it. The screen is completely damaged, as you can see. It's yeah, it's very old. I am looking at getting a MacBook Air, but for now, or even a new MacBook Pro, but for now, I'm gonna stick with this. I was looking at the new iPad Pro with the M1 chip, but for video editing, it wouldn't suit me as they don't have Final Cut on there. Because I do want to update from iMovie to Final Cut soon, but for now, I'm having to stick with iMovie. I know it's completely free. I know it's not the greatest software, but it does bring decent videos. It does bring the content to the channel. And honestly, for a starting channel, that's all I can ask for. Alright guys, so that is going to be my Apple addiction intro video to this little series. Alright guys, thank you so much for coming and checking out this video. Make sure you guys do like, subscribe, comment, share, please. It would mean the absolute world if this channel could hit 100 by the end of the year. But for now, thank you for coming. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you guys do like, subscribe, comment, and share. And I'll catch you guys next week on the next video, which is going to be a great one because I'm talking about the GoPro Hero 8. Thank you guys so much for coming out. Make sure you guys do like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next week.